I mean, who hasn't been scammed in this day and age? I mean, at least 4 people out of 5 in today's age have been scammed before. And they'll tell you all about it. They'll be like, hey, I was sold this thing and I was promised that it's going to be of high quality. But when I had the thing, when I was using it back at home, it proved to be not of high quality. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I'm going to be presenting and introducing today's title, which is, well, this one is a bit longer than the other ones actually. Sometimes the price tag doesn't reflect the quality of service. Growing up, we've been taught that the expensive stuff is of high quality. And that has been true for a while until recently. Now people have caught on, the businessmen and the other people out there, the entrepreneurs, they've actually caught on to this stuff. They were like, no. So now people think, a lot of people now, they think that, okay, so if we charge more, people are going to think this thing is of high quality. When, as a matter of fact, it's not even close to being of quality. Like, we cannot even put quality and that service in the same sentence, and it makes sense. So instead of you just chasing after the price, nowadays it is in your best interest to just go and look into the service itself, and you check and you see it for yourself, that is this really of high quality? Is this worth the amount of money that they're actually charging? I mean, I've walked into so many restaurants, some of them they were charging actually they were overpricing their services, including the food as well, the other stuff. I mean, you wouldn't walk out of there with a gift or anything at all. I mean, not even a sun hand, because everything was so expensive. You couldn't even buy water in that restaurant. And to my surprise, when I checked the service was so poor, man. I mean, I could get better services at rank, at the bus rank. I could get better services at the bus rank, and they don't even charge that much. And these people were charging too much, man. They were charging too much. So I learned that very quickly, and I was like, no. What if it's not this restaurant alone that is actually practicing this? What if it's a majority of companies, a majority of people who are doing this, that they just overprice things to make things look like they are of high quality? So I went on I like to do this stuff a lot. So I went on an investigation and I did this stuff. I went on an investigation trip and I did the other ones. I won't mention the cities and the places I went, because I wouldn't want to be sued. These days people really like to sue people. So no, I'm not going to mention the names. So I went on an investigation trip and I checked it out. And man, I realized that a lot of things were just overpriced. The only shops that I found out to be telling people the truth about the quality of their service and their products were those shops that people like to call the Chinese shops. You would find stuff that is cheap and they'll be selling it in bulk sometimes, and it'll be cheap. When you buy that stuff, it doesn't even last for 2 weeks at most. If it lasts a month, that's 1 in a million. So the price is reflecting the quality. That is not a scam. And then you go to the other shops, you find that same product, and I'm sure they're buying from the Chinese shops. Man, it'll be overpriced. And it's the same product that's not lasting 2 weeks. So I don't know why people are doing this. I don't know why this is happening. If you are in business and you are offering your products and your services, if you want to keep a good name, and by the way, if you keep a good name, you will have generational customers. People will say, well, our family always goes to this restaurant on this day or on these holidays. That way, you always have money, you always have revenue, you always have customers. But if you're one of those guys who like to trick people, who like to scam people and overprice things for a price they are not worth, just to try and say, well, this is of high quality, when in fact it's not, you will lose customers daily. You won't have regular customers. I tell you, and I promise you, you won't have regular customers, because people will be like, no, we have been here. We have done this before. I know these people, and I know that they don't offer the service that they say they're offering. So if you have your business, your company, be it a service-based company, be it a product-based company, maybe it's both, make sure that the quality and the price tag, they match. make sure they match. If you're going to overprice something, make sure the quality as well is of, that price. If it's not of that price, I highly urge you to stop that, because you're killing your own business. In a period of 5 years, you won't have a single customer left. And that is a guarantee. You only have new customers, and those new customers won't even stay for as long as 2 seconds. They will just come in and they find out that, hey, this is a scam, and they'll be out of there as fast as possible. So it is in your best interest to invest in quality before you start overpricing your products or your services, because there is no point in me charging something that I know is of poor services, of poor quality, and I say, well, I want $10,000 for this, and I know the product is not even worth $800. And you know what? A lot of people these days, because there are a lot of scammers out there, people are now vigilant and cautious when it comes to this kind of stuff. But not everybody. Not everybody. Yeah. But people will find out that maybe it's not all that. The problem is when something is overpriced, the ones that are really good at playing this game of overpricing and not matching the price tag and the quality, they make sure to introduce a trend, and they make sure the trend keeps on going on and on and on and on. That's when you find there are brands out there that they're just overpriced, and you find that the fabric itself, let's say it's a clothing brand, the fabric itself is cheap, the threading is cheap, the stitch is nothing special about it, nothing at all, nothing special about the brand, nothing special about the garment, but you find it's way overpriced, it's way up there, and it's something that doesn't even look like it can survive 2 laundry days. Like if you wash it twice, it'll be done and finished. You have to throw it away. So it's a bad business model, if you ask me. Better for you to charge less than what the quality is worth than for you to charge more than what the product is worth or what the service is worth. At the end of the day, people will find out. And when people find out, you lose customers, you lose clients, and you will lose your good name, which you desperately need. Every business, every company needs a good name. My Dreams Reality Podcast needs a good name. Your company needs a good name. Your brand needs a good name. Even your own name needs to be good, because without that, people can't trust anything that comes from you. And when people don't trust anything that comes from you, my friend, you won't like it. You really won't like the outcome that's going to come from that. So, yeah, some products and some services, they are just not worth the price tag. And I hope everybody learns from this and everybody stops buying or even supporting these things, because the more you vote for them with your money, the more you vote for these companies with your money, the more the scam is going to go, and they're going to keep on upgrading the scam. They're going to expand it. They're going to take it to other countries. They're going to take it to other provinces, which is something that we do not want, because we want quality. If quality is not guaranteed, the price should go down. Simple as that. Yeah. So yeah, honestly, should I even mention this? Oh, I don't care. I'm going to mention it. Yeah. Looking at trends, there is the iPhone trend. I've seen people buy iPhones. Then these people are living in 1-bedroom apartments. Actually, in a 1-room, they're renting a 1-room. And they're out there buying iPhones that are worth, maybe, I don't know the price right now. I'm just going to take an assumption. Maybe let's say it's $1,500. And you're in a room, a single room, where you have your bed and your stove and everything else in that room. And here you are, a pedestrian for that fact, buying a phone that cost $1,500. What if you bought a second-hand diesel engine car? Wouldn't that be better than buying this iPhone that you obviously cannot afford? It's a good question. But people are going to avoid it, and people are going to say, well, he doesn't understand. We love these phones. I need this phone. When in fact you don't. You're just falling into the trap of trends. If you follow trends, your pockets are going to be empty. Most of the times, you're not going to have money when you need money. You're not going to have money because you would have invested your money in things you do not need, in things that are totally not useful for you at that moment. Leave it to the rich. Someone who's got extra money, they can always go out there and buy an iPhone. It's not a problem to them because they have more money than they can ever need. But for you, my friend, buying an iPhone, it's like taking a loan and you don't have collateral for it, which means it's going to be a rough ride for you. It's a liability, actually. It's not even an asset. If you had bought, I'm just going to give a rough example to this. A diesel engine car, a second-hand diesel engine, open track. You could do business with that open track, and that open track will bring you money, more money than the iPhone could have. Well, yeah. Also, there are also exceptions. Yeah, that's why I went. I was like, yeah, because I just realized something, and that something is, if you are a content creator, buying an iPhone is a good thing for you. But if you're not a content creator, you don't need to buy an iPhone. You've just fallen trap to the trend. For me, I need an iPhone. If I'm being honest, I really need an iPhone. Let's say I'm on a vacation and I don't want to take my cameras and all this other equipment, this other heavy equipment with me. I would gladly buy an iPhone because it's got good camera quality and all that, video quality and stuff. So I can keep doing my stuff when I'm out there on vacation. I can keep producing. But if you're not a content creator, my friend, I don't see the point in you buying something that you clearly cannot afford. There is absolutely no. This is just one of those examples where the price tag does not reflect the quality. Because even the iPhones themselves, someone brings an iPhone 12 Pro Max and the latest version right now, you only see a few differences. And those differences will be in the hardware. In the software, you find very few differences, especially for a regular end user of the product. Someone who's never done programming or software development, they will not see much difference. They won't see any difference. If you tell someone that this phone has 64 gig RAM, they won't even be able to tell what's the difference between a 32 gig RAM and a 64 gig RAM. No point in you having that device, because you don't even understand these upgrades. So yeah, let's not go out there and vote for these scams with our money. Let's be wise with our pockets. No more funding these things. No more funding these businesses that are scamming people by overpricing their products and services to try and make us believe that these things or these products, these services are of high quality, when in fact they're not. Well, it's up to you, because the money is yours. At the end of the day, it's your money, it's your life. You get to do whatever you want to do with it. But as Alpha Raw and as My Dreams Reality Podcast, we have done our best to let you know that not everything that's overpriced is of high quality. See you guys next time. Bye.
Pachikuna zita kuzipasando nanita nekuzimbisa ekungo simbiswa. Yeah, you say you know me, but you don't know my story. When no see it, I say you go. Yeah, you say you family, usingazi the pain. Irimu moyo manguwa. Yeah, mundi siye. Mugana, zinundi no shida. sell my soul. Give me that love, yeah. Show me love, show me love.